Tonight we are looking at the spooky American animated series with a musical twist. It's Groovie Goolies. A one-season series that focused on its monstrous but good-natured and mostly friendly inhabitants. The show follows Drac, Frankie and Wolfie on their crazy adventures around Horrible Hall. It lasted 16 episodes and aired between 1970 and 1972. So now that we have the background, let's take a look at a couple of episodes. First up we have When I Grow Up. So in a scary forest we get introduced to Horrible Hall as Drac flies in but misses the window. He says this place is driving him batty, as we then see Frankie get shocked as he says he needed that. We see Icky and Goo laugh as Sabrina the teenage witch asks Drac what he grows in his gardens as he replies transplants. Very funny. Wolfie shows off his shoe as it hits Frankie. The show moves really fast as they just tell a lot of silly one-liners and jokes. Frankie gets fired from a cannon as he says he didn't need that, as Drac then welcomes us to Horrible Hall as the clock goes off. He says he is almost late for game time. Suddenly Wolfie skates in as he crashes into Drac. Wolfie talks like a surfer as Drac is annoyed at him. Suddenly Frankie comes in and says it is a lovely evening. Drac asks where he has been as Frankie replies he has been walking the vulture. So Drac then wants help finding the secret game room as Frankie then falls on a skateboard, bumps into a knight and then crashes through the wall. They head on through as they find a bunch of Drac's playthings. Wolfie wonders what it is as Drac shows it off. He stretches into next week as he flies onto another machine as he bumps up and down in the water. Frankie helps him off as he gets stuck on the wall. Wolfie is impressed as Drac turns into a bat and flies away. Wolfie skates away as Sabrina tells Frankie it's time to get ready for the play. He says it will be a shocking performance. So they start the show as they do Little Red Riding Hood as everyone watches on. Wolfie is Little Red as Frankie dresses up as Goldilocks for some reason. He asks what's in the basket as Wolfie doesn't share them. The audience boo as Frankie demands the goodies. So at Drac's house Frankie arrives as he pretends to be Little Red. He sneaks in as Drac is shocked. Frankie Goldilocks takes the bear rug as Drac falls out of the room. He wears the bear rug and jumps into the bed as the mummy says the show is rubbish. So Little Red arrives as she thinks it is the real grandma, so Frankie takes the basket as he uncovers that there weren't goodies in the basket but baddies. They get out and chase after him. Drac laughs with Little Red as Drac confuses him. Wolfie closes the show as Master Hand arrives. Wolfie for Smash Brothers 6 anyone. So they then sing about being hungry and the monster cookbook. It is a nice chilling song. Frankie shows off all the strange food. It is a strange but good song. So it's time for some weird window time or something as everyone comes out and tells silly jokes. Frankie gets shocked again as the jokes get worse and worse. So we get Wolfie's weather report as he says there will be loads of snow over Transylvania, then a heat wave and then thunder. Drac says he will come out and club Wolfie. They continue with more jokes as it goes on for quite a bit. So Wolfie now has tips on pets as he teaches his piranha tricks. He asks for the newspaper but grabs Drac instead. Wolfie says goodbye as his piranha heads back to his moat. So Bella is on the switchboard as Wolfie pulls up in his car as Bella asks what the problem is as Wolfie says when there is a full moon his car grows hair. Bella tells him to take it to the garage once a week as Wolfie zooms off. So someone is cooking as Hagatha says something is missing from the stew she is cooking. Drac comes out the pot and says she has forgotten the tumbleweed leaves as Hagatha is stunned. She goes to get some as they fly off. Hagatha fights them as she gets tossed around. Hyde watches on as Hagatha gets them into her basket by tricking them. So she is cooking away as suddenly the pot walks off as Drac is confused. It walks past Frankie as Haunt Leroy wants to ride the bike. Frankie turns it on as he can't keep up with it. Frankie says pedaling is good as Ratso and Batso arrive and asks what is going down. They turn the machine to go faster as the bike goes zooming off as Haunt Leroy falls off and lands in a basket. The bike chases Ratso and Batso and it crashes into them. Frankie says everything is going well as he claps. So the mummies and the puppies sing about growing up. It is an alright song. The episode then ends. Next up we have Population Party. So in the spooky forest once more we see Horrible Hall again as Drac arrives and crashes into the wall once more. Frankie tells Wolfie another joke as Drac continues the jokes. Agatha rides on a Hoover as they tell more silly jokes. So Drac tries to use a voodoo doll as it doesn't go well. Then Drac introduces us to Horrible Hall once more as he shows us around the place. We see the love seat as it grabs Drac. We see a plant as it is eating its nails. We see a skull lift as Wolfie and Frankie come out in the car as they drive around. Drac is annoyed as he tells Wolfie off. Wolfie says to relax as he shows off how hairy it can get. The plant eats the headlight as Frankie makes a quick joke. Drac tells them to get out as they drive off. He lands on the love seat as Wolfie is driving on the wall. Frankie falls out as Agatha opens her stove and Wolfie drives out. Agatha is annoyed as Bella is on the phone as Wolfie ties her up. The mummy wants a lift as he then is revealed to be a police officer as Wolfie tells us not to trust anyone. Frankie then tells us how to train our pet as his dragon arrives. He tells us how to fetch a stick as he chucks it away. Rover doesn't follow as Frankie gets the stick himself. Rover throws Frankie as he gets him instead. So next we try with Bones as Rover picks up a skeleton. He attacks Frankie with his bone as he teaches begging. Frankie cries as Rover digs a hole and places him in there. So they then sing about 1, 2, 3. It is about hide and seek and how ghosts cheat at it. The gang keep trying to hide as the ghosts keep finding them. More jokes now as they talk about King Kong's steak being medium raw. Frankie gets shocked again as they tell joke after joke. Frankie drowns in the wooden floor. The plant eats the place as Drac doesn't know it is going on. Frankie makes another light lunch joke as Agatha's broom doesn't work. Frankie eats a medicine ball as Mummy gives us a news wrap-up. He says someone unmasked King Tut Tut Shame's tomb. They make a size joke as the snowman scares a skier as he flies up into the air. He crashes down into the snow as that concludes that part. Bella is on the switchboard as someone rings in. They make more jokes about vampires' teeth or something as everyone drops more one-liners. The dog is trying to eat the skeleton as Bella tells him to get a suit on. So he gets the suit on as more dogs chase him. Bella says it was a mailman outfit as Wolfie joins in the chase. Agatha is cooking away as Ratso and Batso go into the kitchen. But everything is locked up. They have a plan as they get the piranha out and chew the fan or something. Frankie tries to locate his heart as the piranha starts to chew the stove locks away. Haunt Leroy says he is going to snitch on them as they get into the stove and find the skeleton. Agatha comes in and stops them in the act. Agatha tells them to eat up as Haunt Leroy wants a bite. The piranha then chases him. Frankie makes the same joke as before. So the Bare Bones band sing about the first annual semi-formal combination celebration Meet the Monster Population Party. Yes, that is a long name, but it is a good song as the episode then wraps up after it. Finally we have Lights Out. So in the spooky forest once more we get introduced to Horrible Hall once more. Drac, guess what, flies into the wall again as he says it is driving him batty. So in the kitchen Drac makes the first joke of the episode, about Hungarian goulash. Wolfie makes a joke as it attacks him back. More silly jokes as it is all very funny. So Frankie says it is fun to go through the Horrible Hall of Shame as Drac says to be careful as they are priceless. Wolfie asks what is so good about this typewriter as Drac says it belonged to a famous ghostwriter. Paper flies off as there is nothing on it. Drac says it uses invisible ink as Frankie asks what is behind the curtain as Drac explains. Frankie opens it as the mask gets scared by Frankie. Drac talks about his famous stamp as Wolfie says they use them for ghost cards. Ha ha, easy pun. Drac talks about his great uncle as it is then revealed he is the stamp. Frankie is shocked as he opens it up and he flies away. Drac is annoyed as Wolfie gets in his car and they chase after him. They fall and splash into the pond as Master Hand tries to point out the direction it went. Frankie spots him as he goes to the mailbox. It eats him as he then gets chucked out. He gets shocked again as Wolfie is surfing around. Hyde crashes into Drac's coffin as he says it's time for a physical. They get into a fight with themselves as Drac gets annoyed at them. So Drac sticks out his tongue as they check it out. They check the rest of him as they say he is in great shape. They argue again as they fight. Drac gets back to bed as they then sing about a strange birthday gift that goes cling clang that makes a very annoying sound. It is a very annoying song. So that finally ends as we get back to weird window time as they tell more jokes. The mirror tells Agatha is ugly as Waffly tells an owl joke. Frankie drains the moat as they just do so many funny one-lines and physical gags. Mummy tries to fix the skeleton as Frankie tells a funny joke about ditches. Mummy puts the skeleton together wrong as he then attacks him with a bone. The mummy says he made a boner this time. Of course, meaning an error. Frankie talks about an old ghost as Bella is back at the switchboard as someone rings and makes a silly joke as Mummy comes over and says his nephew has a problem. He says whenever he sings everyone throws shoes at him. So he starts performing as shoes fly everywhere. Bella tells him he is a big hit in the shoe business as he says thanks. Agatha casts a spell, so Batso and Ratso won't get into the cookie jar. She calls her cat over as he gets sucked in and shrinks down. Haunt Leroy calls over Ratso and Batso as they look in the cookie jar. They get sucked in as Haunt Leroy laughs. But he tries to put them on a shelf as he then falls off, lets them out and gets sucked in himself. Agatha catches Ratso and Batso in the act as she then gets sucked into the jar herself. So Ratso and Batso eat all the real cookies as Frankie is in the gym saying he will never eat cookies. Drac says he wants to get some weight off as Frankie throws him the dumbbell as he falls through the floor. Drac says he has hurt his back as Frankie tries to stretch him out. Frankie shows off more machines as Drac gets abused. Drac flies away as the rolling headstones start to sing about staying after dark as the monsters come out and play pranks. It is an alright song as the episode concludes. Overall, Groovie Goolies was a really good show. This type of comedy is my type of comedy, the fast-paced silly one-liners, they just tickle your funny bones. They are just so stupid I like it and it's from the 70s which means it is simple but that's what makes it great. The songs were okay, some were better than others. I get they were trying to be like the Archie show with the music and it was a bit like the first Scooby-Doo show with all the monster stuff. So it's like a mash-up of those two shows. In conclusion, this was a great watch and just in time for Halloween as well. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.